Hi everyone, I'm Megan, and welcome back to another lab video for Analytics and Decision Sciences 1493 Professional Analytics. In this lab, I will be showing you how to automate the task of retrieving data from the web and inserting it into Excel. If you haven't watched part 1 of this video, I encourage you to do that now. I based the material presented today on VBA for Modelers, the 5th edition by Christian Albright, and Ivey case 9B11E016 by Wei Zia, which you can find on Ivey Publishing through the link provided below. Please open Excel and follow along as we get started.
So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to take the material that was presented in the previous video with respect to retrieving data from the internet and find a way to automate it. So how we're going to do this is we are going to record a macro and then retrieve the data from the internet and investigate the code and make sure everything is correct, and then we will run our macro that we created to see if we can automate the tasks so we don't have to insert the URL or anything else for that matter. So what we're first going to do is we're going to navigate over to the Developer tab and start recording a macro. So I'm going to name this Bitcoin underscore data. And in the description box, I'm just going to quickly say that the data, or we're going to imported from Yahoo Finance History. So this is going to be a little bit different than the last example. We are going to take the history of the Bitcoin stock and see how it fluctuates and performs over time. So once we select OK, we are now recording our macro. So we can navigate over to the Developer tab and select From Web. Then once we get our From Web pop-up, we can paste our URL, which is slightly different from the last one that we did. So highlighted here is the previous example in the last video. So we added the history portion of this URL, which will give us a completely new table compared to last time. So once we select OK, we wait for the navigator page to pop up. So once that occurs, then we can look at the web page and make sure we have the right one and make sure that we are extracting the data that we want for this example. So we just gotta wait for this to load and then we can continue working. So if we go over to the web view, we can see that we have Bitcoin and our time period is October 23rd, 2020 up until the current date, which for me is October 23rd, 2021, and we are showing the historical prices on a daily basis. So if we scroll down, we can see that we have data for each day, and we have the open, high, low, close, and adjusted close values, as well as the volume for the Bitcoin data. So what we're going to do is we are going to select table 0 and make sure that that is what we want, which it is, and then we can load our data. So what's going to happen is it's going to open this data on a new sheet, and then once we get the data loaded, we can see if we need to change any formatting, and then we can stop recording and investigate the macro that we have wrote. So now we have our table popped up, and as you can see, the open, high, low, close, and adjusted close values are not formatted correctly. So what we're going to do is we can select B2 and use Control-Shift down to select the entire column. And then what we will do is navigate over to the Home ribbon and select the accounting number format. So then we can do the same thing with high. We use Control-Shift down to select the entire column, and then we switch it to accounting, and we do the same for low, close, and adjusted close. So now that we have all of this information, we can go over, we have to stop recording first, and then we can go over to the Developer tab and open Visual Basics. So there's only one thing we are going to change in this portion of the macro, which is the query that we are running to extract the data from the web. So all we're going to do is we are just going to change the name to Bitcoin stock data. We can leave everything else the exact same, but one thing we have to look out for is this last line here, which says that the object name is going to be table 0. So what we're going to have to do before we run this is we are going to have to delete table 0, and then we should be good to run this macro after we investigate the rest of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up into two portions. So I'm going to comment up here and say that this is the Web Retrieval for the data. And then down here, after our end with, we can add that this is our formatting of the table. So if we quick look through this line by line, one thing that stands out to me is this scroll that I have. So I can delete that as it's just showing that I scroll down a little bit, but we don't need to do that in the macro. All we need to do is select all of cell B and change it to currency, and then do the same for C, D, E, and F. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this macro. And as we can see, immediately we are getting the data. So this works much faster than going to the data ribbon and selecting the web group and going from there. However, we do have one slight issue, which is in column A. We can see that the formatting didn't follow through. So what we can do is we can select this and see what happens if we change this to a short date, which it works perfectly. So what happens is this is actually a code for a short date, but in the general form. So what we're going to do is we are going to go over to queries and connections over on the left, and we are going to delete our Bitcoin stock data, as we are going to rerun this macro after we change the formatting in cell A. So then what we're going to do is we are going to delete sheet 5, and then we can go back to Developer and Visual Basics. So formatting the table, we are going to add range A1 here. And we are going to select this value. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing as this line here. So I'm just going to copy it just to make my life a little bit easier. Oh, I did not copy it. That's my bad. Okay, so we're going to copy this line and then paste it. So then, because we're still using our selection tool, and then going all the way down, so just a quick copy and paste is fine for that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do selection.number format is equal to month, day, and then year. So what this is going to do is in column A, we are going to change the selection or the number format to a month, day, and year format, which is the same as the short date. So when we run this, we can see that we are getting the data much quicker again, which is encouraging. And if we look over here, we can see that the date is formatted as we would like it, as well as the open, high, low, close, and adjusted close values. So this is a very simple way to automate the task of importing data into your Excel worksheet. And as you can see, it just makes things much quicker and easier to do, as you no longer have to format the cells or anything like that. So if you were to import a bunch of data, say for a bunch of different stocks, then this might be a good route to go, as it automates things and it makes it very quick for you to do this. So the only thing you need to be changing each time is the URL that you are using.
That is how you automate the task of retrieving data from the web and inserting it into Excel. I hope the material presented was useful when using VBA for decision modeling. If you liked this video, please leave a like and comment, as well as subscribe to our channel. We have more content related to VBA for decision modeling in our playlist, so if you're interested in more videos, please check it out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!